Okay guys, I'm back again. We're going to see if this actually works out for me this time around. I'm going to give it a shot anyway. Alright, so as I was saying, I got the Gemini RTA this morning. The box that comes in. I've already taken it out in pieces. I'm going to switch to this one here. Alright, so as soon as that clears up here, this is sort of what it looks like when you take it apart. Like I said, it comes with a wrench for the Allen screws. It's in the side. This is the bottom, the build decal in the RTA. I like that it has juice control. You can open it wide open. I'm going to run Max VG in it to see how it does. It comes pre-packaged with an extra 510 tip. It also has a wide bore 510 in the top of it already, which I like pretty good. It comes with extra O-rings, glass, and it came with two pre-built coils. These are Clapton coils. It looks like 24 gauge and 38 gauge maybe. 8 wraps spaced. I'm going to go ahead and use them to see how they are. They look like they're wrapped on a 3mm diameter. So I'm going to use the coils that they sent just to see how, if they're worth anything or not. And it is a top fill RTA. I'm going to slide the tool in here. If you guys can see what I'm doing here. It is a 3mm, very tight 3mm. Almost acts like it's 2.5. I think they meant for it to be a 3. And on these, what I normally do is I will only use the 2 bottom holes unless I plan on putting quads in it. And once I get done with these coils, I may end up doing a quad build in it. And everybody has their preferences as far as how they build and how they do things, and this is just the way I do it. If you like the way I do it, good. If not, do it your way. Alright, so I'm going to tighten them down just a tad. I'm going to take these and go ahead and trim them off. Actually, not yet. I'm going to bend this around and up so I'm straighten them out. So they're somewhat uniform here. So you see, I'm having to do this upside down, so be patient with me here. Then go ahead and snap them off. Flip off the ends. I figured most of you guys would like my little build mat, because I'm just too cheap to go out and pay $25, $30 for a build mat. So I use a microfiber cloth because it catches everything. And I got the SIG 150 temp control mod. I'm going to go ahead and slap it on there to see what she comes out as. And see how she heats on this one side. The build deck compared to the VCM is a little bit smaller, but the tunnel on it seems to be a little bit bigger, so I can't run quads in the VCM tank unless it's super small coil wires. Alright, so it's already ohming out at 1.09, so I'm going to cut this down to about 40 watts. Just give her a little warm and she heats up real nice. So what I'll do is I'll cool that down and pop it out. And I'll go ahead and install the other side. Some people choose to use both top and bottom decks. I don't guess it makes a whole lot of difference. But if you got any OCD, it probably benefits you more if you use the same post holes. I'm going to do this the same way, install on the bottom. I'll go ahead and snug the Allen screws. And then I'll finish straightening it up with the RTA tool that you can. I bought mine on My Freedom Smokes. They're like $5. And I'll go ahead and trim these off. So I'm left with that. This side owns out 1.10, so I'm going to go ahead and give her heats up right nice. So I'll cool them off, then I'll go back and install the other side. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and tighten down the top post holes. Trying to make sure I keep this thing on camera for you guys. Alright, so once I've tightened the top ones, I'm going to loosen the bottom one so I can install the other Clapton. Once you get them in there, try to even them out as best as you can, and go back and tighten them down again. Like I said, it takes a little bit longer to install if you're using the same post holes, but I think uniformity is pretty key here, so I like to keep them both straight and level. What I'll do is try to even them out the best I can. And let's see this side. I need to come down on this side just a tad, and you'll notice that in the center of the in between these two positive and negative posts, that there's another post that runs up that has holes in it, and I'm believing that those are extra cooling to help with cooling of the coals. So that's sort of what she looks like. Fairly uniform. Once I got them both in there and twisted where I want to, I'll go back and I'll double check those Allen screws to make sure they're snug. And she comes out to 0.53 ohms, 38 watts. And you'll see they both heat real nice and evenly. So I'll go ahead and cut it on up now to, I'm going to cut it up to about 51, let's go 52. That's at 5.2 volts. So considerably cheaper. So I always like to take the shimmy, put it on just lightly to make sure it's not scrubbing on the inside. If it starts scrubbing, you know you've done it wrong, and go back in there and readjust. I'm going to tighten up these a little bit more. So she should be good to wick. So, and if you've never seen one of these little handy tools, I suggest you go find one. We have a few here at the shop that's left. It's the best $10 you'll ever spend. As far as if you use a tank regularly, use the big part, you can get the bottom of the tank off. And the smaller hole right here is for your coals, and then you got your ceramic tweezers on the end. And in all actuality, the new ones, the V2 version actually has replaceable ceramic ends, so when you break them or wear them out, you can swap them out with I think a screw holds them in. So alright, so I'm going to use some, I got some Wizard Wick cotton that I had left over from Vapor Slam, so I'll cut a piece of that off. And then what I'll normally do, since these are 3mm holes, I'll go ahead and split it in half, the best I can get it in half. Try to do it evenly. As you can see that. And then some people like to roll them in your hands. I prefer to keep them straight. And then I'll just take the end and twist it. And we'll slide it through the coil. If you can get it through there. Feels like Monday morning, I can't get it to work. There we go. I'll tug it through a little bit. Each side. I'll flip it over and do the same with the other piece of cotton I had left over. Twist the end of it. Slide it through. Put it back just a tad. And I'll take my scissors up to the base and trim them off evenly. Once that's done, I'll start working on getting the cotton into these small little holes here. I don't know if you can tell that well on it, but you'll see it once you take the tank apart. So that's what I'm going to work on now. Just getting it down into the holes. And something that helps as well, as I found out, is if you know what kind of juice you're going to go ahead and run into your tank, is I'll take a little bit of juice and dab on the cotton to get it a little bit wet. It seems to make it a little bit more maneuverable when trying to work it into the holes. It's a little messier, but it seems to make life a little bit easier. Now on my VCM, the holes that you actually put the cotton down into so it'll wick is actually, you can actually move it. And this one looks like it does come apart, but I didn't bother to try it. Sometimes it's just as easy for me to get the cotton down in there by using my tweezers. And this is probably the most time consuming part. I had my choice between the Vaporesso Moonshot and the Gemini. I think Sigelli has a really great idea with what they've done, but they need to improve on the build deck, because the build deck is odd. So they need to improve on that, and then the air holes, they need to improve on that. So that's sort of what it'll look like once you start getting them worked into the holes. The RTAs is becoming a little bit more popular now with the Griffin and the Monster V3 and those mods and such, or tanks that's been coming out. So I really like my VCM tank. You know, there's a couple things with it I don't like, but overall it's a great tank. Once I get it in there, I'll go back around and check what's going on here. And you see, you just gently start working it down in there. You don't want to push too hard in there to choke the cotton, because then you're going to have wicking problems. So you want it to be as free as possible, because you want the juice to be able to soak up into the cotton pretty freely. Okay, so looks like it's all in there. Alright, fits pretty nice, no scrubbing. So then what I'll do is I'll take some of the juice, put it onto the coals, and I'll give it a quick fire real quick just to warm up the coals so I can get the juice to absorb into the coals and the cotton that's around it. And I'll decorate the sides here a little bit. Be patient with me, guys. I'm still learning this camera and video thing, so as I learn, the videos will get better. So once you got it wicked down there pretty good, give it a nice little fire there. Look for both coals to fire simultaneously and evenly. And then you just install the bottom of the chimney part of the tank, and you can see through there as I spin the juice holes. That's the air holes right there. And I want mine wide open so I can run the max VG. And then I'll open up actually I'll keep the breathing holes. Let me go ahead and cut these off while I feel. Once I got the tank on there, the chimney and everything's pretty tight. I'll close off the juice control holes and the air holes there. Go ahead and fill up the tank. Like I said, I like running max VG. So max VG, I'm not a big fan of e-juice. So this tank will run the max VG juice. It will definitely be very beneficial. So then once I get it full, I'll go ahead and slap the top on it. This also has air holes at the top on the top cap. So if you want more air, don't forget to cut your juice control on and open up your air holes in the bottom. So, and that's pretty much. Let me get off to this part now. Go back to the other side. So usually what I'll do is while it's wicking and soaking it up, I'll let it sit for about 5-10 minutes. And I'll cut it down to about 30-40 watts and then work my wattage up to where I want it to be at. But this is sort of what she looks like when it's all put together. No leaking problems yet. And I'll use it for the next couple weeks and I'll come back and give a grade on it compared to the other RTAs that I've used. So guys, that's it. That's all it is for the Vaporesso Gemini RTA. Stay tuned, as I did get the aluminum black TVL in, and I still need to do a review on that and show you guys that. But other than that, guys, just make sure that you vape safe, you vape strong, and you vape on. Alright, so I got to adjust the keyframe frequency of 4 seconds or less, because I know I got it at 6.6 now. So, how do we adjust that?